Everybody standing by. Excuse me while I set this up. I'm trying to zoom out a little bit, but it won't let me. But that's okay. All right, we'll just go with that. Hey everybody, I hope you guys can hear me. Today I'm going to be live streaming the build of the DT-03 Neo Fighter from Tamiya. It's a 110 two-wheel drive buggy kit. It should be pretty straightforward, pretty simple. I don't expect too many problems or difficulties building this. I'd say it's probably in the beginner level type of build, but we'll see what happens. So I have the manual right there. I have the parts and the accessories that we need. So let me go over those real quick. This right here is the C tree. You can see that. It's mostly the chassis of the buggy. And this is the M tree, and this is kind of a rubbery plastic. We're going to be using this servo mount and a couple of these two pieces, 1 and 3 right there. All right. We're going to need this. This is the P tree. And this is going to be the servo saver. And all the hardware we need are going to be in the A bag. We don't need anything else from any other bags. The A bag is all we need. Inside everything that I'm going to show you right now is going to be inside this bag. We're going to need those 2 steering rods. And these rod ends, they call them adjusters. We're going to need foam tape. Probably the first step is going to be this right here. And I've already pre-cut them because cutting foam tape on camera isn't all that exciting. All right, and then let me scoot this over so you can see all the screws that I have prepared already. So I have 9 of these 3 by 10 millimeters. I have 3 of these 3 by 12 and 1 3 by 15. I have these 2 washers that are going to go on to the servo mount right here to mount the servo. And I have these ball studs we're going to screw on to the servo saver and the nuts behind it. And these are going to be the servo screws. One of these is going to fit the servo. All right. Speaking of servo, let me show you all the electronics. I'm going to be using this 12 kg cordless digital servo, and this is a low profile servo, so it's a little bit shorter than normal. I like using low profile servos in pretty much all my builds, except for crawlers or anything big and heavy like monster trucks. Then I'll go with a standard size, but if it's going to be a light car, touring car, I usually just go with the low profile. Saves space, saves a little weight, and they're pretty affordable. And you're going to need the ESC that came with your kit. Yours might be the 1060, or it could be this one, TBLEO2S, depending on when you bought the kit. You'll need a battery. We have the receiver for the Dumble RC transmitter. Let me get those out of the way. There's tools we're going to need are a pair of angle cutters. Maybe need a blade. You would need a blade to cut these, but I've already used it. We're going to need a crosshead screwdriver, and that's actually, this is the Tamiya one, and so this is actually the JIS tip, not the Phillips. And you're going to need a smaller flathead screwdriver. I have the JIS bits right there, and I have a pair of shock pliers for when we're building the rods, steering rods. I have a caliper, and I also have this ball end wrench, which comes in handy. All right. I think today we're going to be able to get through 8 steps, and let me show them to you. So step 1 is going to be charging the battery. That's pretty straightforward. I think you guys can handle that. And then step 2, we're going to apply these sponge tape onto the inside of the chassis. We're going to be doing 3 on each side of the chassis. And step 3, we're going to screw the 2 sides of the chassis together. Step 4, we're going to mount these. I think going to end up being suspension mounts for the front when it's all said and done. And then we're going to put the servo saver and mount the servo onto the servo mount. Then we're going to test the electronics and put the servo saver onto the servo. And then build the steering rods and finally mount the servo into the chassis. I think we can get through all of this in today's stream. I'm only going to try to stream for an hour or whenever I'm done with step 8. I'm not going to try to go too long. All right, so let's start with step 2. So first thing we need to do is to get this off. So this is going to be this way. This is going to be C1 and this is going to be C6. So I have this here. We're going to stack 2 foam tape pieces right here together. And I believe these are about 25 millimeter by whatever the original height of the foam tape is. So I'm just going to stack this one on top of this one. And if I'm not mistaken, this is going to be the battery compartment. And we're going to stick them right here. And let's see. Goes on pretty nicely. All right. No problems at all. Then we're going to need one up here in front. That's the one that was cut to 1 centimeter high. And just tuck that in there. Did I need to cut it a little bit? Looks like it's not as wide as the other one is. All right. So that is that. Doesn't need to be perfect. There we go. Let's do the other side. Going to go right here. And we're going to put this over here, down in there, like that. And we're going to put this side over here. I forgot to trim this. Let's get a little bit off. All right, and we're done with step 2. Let me pick up all the scraps here. All right, let's clean up our work area. And now we're going to put these two pieces together like this. And let's see how many screws we're going to need. We're going to need 3 of these BA5s, which are the 3x10mm. You can pick through the bag. There's only this size that has this many, so it's pretty obvious which ones they are. This one's actually a little bit longer. All right, so we're going to put 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be this one above the Tamiya logo, and looks like it's going to be, it's not very obvious where, oh, it's going to be behind there. It's going to be that one right there. All right, let's do the middle one. Let's do the Tamiya one right here. And going to need that screwdriver. Just gonna make sure it's not all the way in. It's just going to let it stop lightly, and then we'll tighten it a little bit later on. And here's the other one. All right, and the third screw, it's going to go in here, right there. All right, now I'm going to go back and give all 3 screws that final quarter turn. This one's a little bit more than quarter turn. All right, okay, and we're done with step 3. Let's move on to step 4, which is going to be putting on M1 and M3, and those are going to be this and that right there. Let me cut out M1 first. So this is M1, and it's going to go on this side. Let's see, it's going to go like this. If you can find this bar right here, that is going to go towards the chassis. So it's going to be like this, I believe. Yeah, it's going to look like that. And on this side, it's going to be the 3x12, which is these right here. So one, let me just try to get this one on. And 2. Alright, and then this side's a little bit interesting, so it's going to be M3, which is this right here. again, it's going to be this right here, facing the inside. So this is going to go here, and then this other hole is going to line up. So let's look at this carefully. The bottom screw that's going to go here is actually going to be longer. It's 3 by 15, so it's going to be this one. Why it's longer on one side, I have no idea. I should probably start using the driver. Nope, I should not. All right, and the other one I put away. Should be this one. Huh, where did I put it? Is it this one? Nope. So this one is this one. I might have put the wrong screw in there. Let's see. Ouch. Let's see if I put the wrong screw in. No, that was correct. I thought it was too long, but it's not. So let's get that back in there. Okay, and I apologize. I put that screw away thinking it was the wrong one, but it was the correct one. It's this one right here. So this is the other 3 by 12 millimeter. All right. Let's see if I can use this again. All right. More than likely, this is going to carry the front suspension, so we need to make sure these 4 screws are very tight. Okay, now we're done with the chassis for now. I'm going to put that aside. I'm going to start working on step 5, which is going to be the servo saver and then mounting the servo. And for the servo saver, we're going to need P3, which is this one right here. That one. Okay. And we're going to turn it like this and put this through with the nut in the back. And if you have a regular wrench, great. If not, you can use this, which comes in handy. It's going to be this side, not the smallest, the second to smallest, no? It's neither. That's interesting. Huh. Okay, let's see. Then I'm going to need needle nose pliers like that. And this screwdriver. Okay. All right. So just get it all the way in. And it's going to be this way. Try to get it all the way through. And the nut does have a flat side and a round side. Make sure the round side's on the outside. The round side's going to have that rubber seal that is going to lock the ball stud in. Okay. And they look pretty good, like that. All right. So next we need to find P4, which is going to be this ring right here. This is actually the thing that cushions any collisions to the front wheels. That could be continued onto the servo itself, and this would actually take the brunt of the impact so it doesn't get transferred onto the servo and break it. All right, so we're going to lock that in there, and they're the same on both sides, so we don't need to worry about which side. And it just goes on. There's an index right here, and you're just going to spread it open a little bit. And lock it in like that. Okay, when you're done, it should look like that. Okay. Next, we're going to mount the servo onto the servo mount, and that's going to be M9. M9 is this piece right here. We need to get it off the tree, and we also need to get rid of, how should I hold this? Like, get rid of this bar as well. Like that. Okay. Oh, hey. Hello, Wilgen from Indonesia. Sorry I didn't see that. I just saw that right now. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching my live stream. Good to see I have some viewers in Indonesia. All right, so this piece is going to go this way. I know that because the screw holes here have a collar, and this side is going to be the long side, so it's going to be this side, and this is the short side. And the servo itself is going to sit like this, and it's going to go in there like that. Let me thread this through. It's going to thread in like that. And we need one screw and one washer right there. And it's going to be the BA5 3x10, so it's going to be this screw again. This is only my second stream, and I'm getting used to looking at the screen, looking at the build, and looking at the chat, so bear with me. All right. And we have it on this side. We're going to put the other screw on this side. Diagonal, like so. Okay. All right. I don't want to force that too much further down. I think that's going to be fine. Actually, I want to kind of loosen this a little bit. All right. Okay, looks good. All right, now we're done with step 5. Let's move on. Okay, step 6. First thing we're going to do is to test all of the electronics. And while you're testing it, what you're doing actually is also centering the servo. All right, so let me bring everything back over here and plug in the servo again. So servo goes into channel 1. ESC goes in channel 2. And it goes this way for this ESC. And I have the transmitter right here. And all of the settings, all the trim is going to be at neutral already. And I'm going to turn it on, lights on. And I'm going to turn on the ESC. And I didn't hear anything, but there it is. You can hear that. Not responding. Okay, let's hope that doesn't stop responding once we have it on the car. So let's bring back the servo saver. And we need either P5 or P6. And the reason there's an either or is because one has 24 tooth and one has 25 tooth. So I don't remember which one, but there's an easy way to tell. We're just going to slip them on to the servo. And the one that fits is the winner. So it's going to be P5 for my servo right here. That's the easiest way to tell which one you need. All right, so I have my servo centered, and I'm going to line this up with that mark right there, that mark, as much as possible. There we go, like that. And now we're going to slip this on here like this with this indexed onto that. So it's going to look like that. Now we also need P1, which is just this ring right here, just a little spacer. I'm going to drop that in there, and we are going to need the screw that fits for the servo. And I have already figured out that the one that fits my servo is going to be this black one right here. And it's not going to be long enough. So let's see if I have another one that might fit. Okay, let's try this one. Nice and snug. Still turns. Terrific. All right, we're done with step 6. Let me put this aside, turn this off, get this out of the way. Next, we're going to build the steering links, and we're going to need these 2 rods right here. And we're going to need all 4 of these rod ends. right. All right, and these are not turnbuckles. They're both going to be righty-tighty on each side. So we're just going to start them by hand a little bit. Then I have the caliper and the shock shaft wrench or pliers, shock shaft pliers, and I'm going to use this ball end wrench, and we need a 50mm gap between the two sides. So I'm going to get this up to about there and then start on the other side. Just get a few turns in. If you don't have one of these, just use your hands. But it is handy to have one of these. Okay, and the ball ends are going to face in opposite directions. So one's going to be up, one's going to be down. So it's going to be something like this. So let's measure, see if it's 50. Right now, let's see where we are. Right now we're at 48. So I need to back these out a little bit. So let's see. Let me back both sides one turn. And see where we are. All right, let's see how we're doing. Another quarter turn will do it, but I think this is going to be close enough. Yeah, I think this is going to be close enough. I don't think if I back it up another half turn, it's going to be anywhere close to 50. All right, let's try the other side. This side. All right. Okay, let's go from there. Let's see if we can get to 50. Again, that's really close, 49.56. All right, so we're ready. Now we're just going to snap these onto the servo like that. Okay. All right, and these two ball cups should be facing up when you have them on the servo. We don't need that anymore. Let's bring back the chassis, and we're going to drop it here into this cavity right here. And the 2 rods are going to thread through that hole. All right, so, oh, I'm sorry, not those 2 holes. It's this one and this one. Just gonna go through those 2. All right, let me just this. I already know this is centered, so I'm not too worried. Okay, so let's see what's the best way to do this. All right, okay. I got that through. And we're going to mount it with 4 screws here, right here, and there. So the servo is going to sit a little bit diagonal, like so. And I'm just going to take a peek and make sure they line up. Okay, put one screw in through here. All right, I see it. So it's going to sit like that. I don't know if you can see that, but that is going to sit in there, and this is going to line up. Oops. All right. Okay, let me put this way. I think the ESC is going to sit on the back side here, so I'm just going to leave the wire there. If I need to thread it somewhere later, it's not a big deal. So let me put one up front. Okay, and one down here. All right. Okay, and when we're done, the cups are going to be pointing kind of diagonally down, so that's correct. All right, so today's stream is not going to last very long. I think we're at the 40-minute mark, but we started the Tamiya DT-03 Neo Fighter kit. We started at step 1. And we put together the chassis frame and mounted the suspension mounts. We put the servo saver together and we mounted the servo onto the servo mount. Then we tested all the electronics, centered the servo, and then we put the servo saver onto the servo. We put together the steering links and put them onto the servo saver. And then we mounted the servo onto the chassis through step number 8. So we take a look at next stream. We're going to start at step 9, which is the front lower arms. Going to be pretty straightforward. Going to attach the front lower arms onto the chassis, and then the front upper arms, the front axles. Going to put them all together and then put on the steering links. So next stream, we're going to be working on steps 9 through 13, which is basically going to be the front end. All right. Thanks for everybody that's joining me today for this very short stream. I started the Tamiya DT-03 Neo Fighter. Thanks for watching. If you have any feedback, please leave a comment below. And tell your friends that I'm streaming this kit. And I'll try to do another stream tomorrow to work on the next steps. So again, thanks for joining me. Drop a like and subscribe, and make sure you turn on notifications so you don't miss the next stream. I'll see you guys in the next one.